I remember when my folks said, you know what I mean, when you get older. I was only a teen, thinking that I was a grown-up. Please, I had so much to see, thinking the little that I saw was all this world had to offer to me. Cheating, so I lost my big V while he was beating in the other room. Not get abused by time. I saw the whole world through that girl's eyes. Kinda crazy though.
Man, let me tell y'all, bruh. I thought the West Coast was bad, but I come back on the East Coast and the heat is impeccable. I don't know what is going on out here. It's like one day it's raining and one day it's hot as shit. I came back with a nice little day with my family. I would have said nice chill day, but it wasn't that. It was a nice day. We went out to eat and stuff like that. But like, y'all can't see my melanin getting a little darker. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. I ain't nothing wrong with that, but I'm just like, man, like give me a break, bro. Like, Mother Nature, what's going on? I'm gonna just say this: Joey Bada's dropping his debut album 1999 definitely played a pivotal part of how I looked at rap music at the time. Because in my early teenage years, I noticed there wasn't many rappers out here spitting that shit, like really giving us double and triple entendres. And being a person that was always interested in that, I always found myself having to go back to a Big L or Biggie or Jay-Z or Nas or Wu-Tang just to get that nostalgic East Coast lyrical feel. So when Joey popped out with a video called Waves, you know, because that's what I seen first. I didn't even hear the album yet. The album was already out for like a month before I heard it. And as soon as I heard it, I was automatically attached to his lyricism and just his flow because it reminded me so much of the 90s. Nas and Tribe Called Quest, like that era. But he also had that swag of a young soul mixed in with his Flatbush new era style. It was like that perfect sequence brought to the table at the time for anyone between the ages of like 14 and 35. And that's what I feel like he did with 1999. He bridged that gap between the old heads that was hating on the new era of music, I would say, and the young OGs that appreciated the older style of music, but also loved the new generation of music as well. So when I heard he was dropping the album called 2000, 10 years later, I mean, I had no choice but to anticipate greatness from the door. Even though he dropped half of the fucking album on the lead up to this, and he pushed it back due to sample clearances. I mean, you got 5 years to clear samples. What the fuck? I'm not really mad because I ain't hear none of that shit. So, rip capital C's. You already know what's going on. Let me look at the track list real quick. I peeped it a little while ago, but I ain't seen it in a minute. Oh, West Side Gun. I'm looking forward to that track. Yeah, that Pray for Paris joint they did. Y'all know. Larry June been getting a lot of love lately, so I can't wait to hear that one. My boy Jid on here, so I hope they do what they do. The cover is real sweet. I like how he drew inspiration from 1999. It's not exactly, you know, as great as the 1999 cover, but I'm messing with it. Even though I said I ain't mad, I hope he apologized for keeping us waiting like he did on 1999. That'd be hard. No, because he did keep us waiting. Track 1, The Baddest, featuring Diddy.
Can you say New York City? Now as we proceed to give you what you need. Take 5 years old, cause my shit is timeless. My core got my back, so I'm standing on my promise. You never could degrade this, and I did it with no major. I made a lane for niggas by going my own way. I picked.
Damn, that's crazy. I never noticed that. Like, I never really noticed that Joey never signed with a major label. And niggas always talking about nobody talking about Joey Badass because he's not getting pushed. Like, he better than most of these niggas, in my opinion. The album just started. Let me stop dick sucking.
The best MCs, Kenny, Joey, and Cole, the Holy Trinity. It's that 9-5 till infinity. Energy known. Show me love when I'm still in the vicinity. And show some sympathy for niggas who be moving finicky. Spend a minute and I still kick a style with no gimmicks. Took some time off, now we back in this. What you niggas thought I was?
I knew he was gonna bring it back to the first joint. Vaj, that's a cheat code sample. I mean, that's their best song in my opinion. What I'm already getting from this album is that Joey is going back to his roots. I feel like that's why he named it 2000. All the verses he's been giving us up until this point, or other people's projects, they all been rap. They all been what we want to hear from Joey as fans. So, you know, I feel like him going back to that boom bap style, because if you go back to his last project, it was something totally different from this. It wasn't Before the Money. It wasn't 1999. So, or even Summer Nights, you know, he went in a totally different direction as far as, you know, musically or sonically, however you want to put it. The raps was still there, the flow was still there, but it's just we didn't get that boom bap style that we love from Joey. So I feel like this intro is just him reminding us that he's still that guy as far as lyricism. He's still that guy as far as flows. He's still gonna rap to us and let us know he's that nigga. Like he said, he's still the nigga with the style with no gimmicks. You know what I mean? I don't know about that shit he said about, you know, it's just Kendrick, Cole, and him as far as the top 3. But I ain't gonna say all that. But you know, you a good rapper, Joey. I'll give you that. I also like how he didn't overuse Diddy on this one because people have a complex of doing that a lot of the time. He didn't overshine Joey with his talking or his commentary on this track. So dope track though. I fuck with it. Track 2, Make Me Feel. I hope this album is full of samples, bro. Like, this is what I want from Joey, bro. This is what I want.
I want it all, fuck a reparation. I do it all with no hesitation. Fuck a punchline, I hit him with a combination like the shit was second nature. 8 fingers later, got my life all figured out. Gotta have tunnel vision if you wanna make it out. No fear, missing out. Then I'm between brevity and longevity. One thing I never sacrifice is integrity. Rest in peace to Steve and June. They put the battery inside my back. Now I'm back to leaving casualty. I'm the reason why niggas talk about retirement. To keep the game at bay like the 49ers. 47 shit, Steezy looking
Oh my God!
I'm red cut like a motherfucking pink diamond. The irony, I've been the one you niggas undermining, nigga. This is something to...
Who the fuck been counting Joey out? Who been talking? I said something. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. The greatest thing I love about Joey is that I think he stands on everything he said. The only thing I'll never sacrifice is integrity. You know what I mean? I don't think he ever sacrificed integrity in his music. I just think he wanted to try new things within his music. He never ever tried to make that attempt to go pop or even try to further his career in a way where it will upset his fans or upset his core fan base. And he always stayed true to that. When he tried to make a move to, expand his sound, he always told his fans that. He was always transparent with them. That beautiful soul and drum mixture that we always get from Joey just comes off so potent right here. This is what makes him so great, and that's what makes his verses stand out that much more. I didn't even notice during the song that there was no hook on that. It seems like these first 2 tracks are just letting niggas know that he back for blood. You know what I mean? Who's coming after him though? It's a lot about that so far. There's only 2 tracks in, but he's talking to somebody. But so far with this, I'm loving it because I'm just getting straight rawness from Joey. Just straight raw raps and no gimmicks, like he said. Not trying to make everything so perfect because, the beats are not even perfect. They're nice and rugged and rough. Not really well put together, but they are well put together though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that 90s style. And then Joey being a great protagonist by just carrying this whole record with his great... Bro, his wordplay, man. Like, Joey wordplay out this world. Track 3, Where I Belong.
I'm taking steps to be the best and they let me the rest. BBS, pray the Lord have mercy on the niggas' soul. We reminiscing like it's all we know. They trying to get my thoughts together. I say you pray it every day, hoping they don't get better. Get the microphone alone. Often took the long way home just to get those off my dome. We reminiscing like it's all we know. Take hollow tips and extra clips everywhere we go.
I mean, that was a nice little storytelling track. It wasn't nothing spectacular in my opinion. I like the switch between the drums and how they slowed down and picked up in certain parts. On the hook, it made it a little bit louder. The drums a little bit heavier and heftier. And when he was rapping, it was a little bit more silent. Joey basically, again, just talking about how he wants to be the best in the game, one of the best to ever do this. He said that in the first 2 lines of the track. But in this story here, he's taking you through steps on why he feels that way or, why he feel like he deserves this or why he feels like he is where he belongs. He's basically giving you a story of, his adolescence and him being from Brooklyn and some of the trials and tribulations he had to go through with losing friends and, being in the inner cities and stuff like that. So it was a good story in my opinion. I've heard similar stuff like this from Joey before, so it doesn't really hit me. Or I've heard, these stories told better from a different perspective, of course, but I just heard it pieced together a little bit better. But Joey's rapping on here was really good. This one I'm waiting for right here. Brand new 911 West Side Gun. Man, that shit rhyme. Sign me.
Yeah. It ain't even cost me a lot. Heard a nigga just got take this shit, nobody let me accept me. So I can give a fuck if you accept me. Into my frequencies, when exposed to secrecies, screaming rest in peace to Steve. Instead I went and copied the pause just for my mental health. I guess I couldn't help myself. I'm screaming now. Ran on out of here.
Hold on. I copped the post for my mental health. I guess I couldn't help myself. And that line deep. I didn't even want to pause it like through the verse because I don't. There's nowhere to pause it in these songs. I'm really like loving the fact that he's screaming R.I.P. Steez on every single song on here.
First time I got knocked, was on matching on my feet, Chevy don't before you. Body in hey yo, watch how I aviate. Live on radiate. The years left, he doing day for day. He on
No good time.
Westside get Joey on that? Not as far as rapping, but with just like the appearance of him. Like I feel like the appearance of Westside Gun just overtook Joey on that. Like the way Joey used him too. Boom, 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 boom. Like I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I think people have done that before, but not on this beat, not over a saxophone. This hook is gonna be screamed in the shower for a long time for me. Damn, like it's been some good songs on here, but damn, I'm only on song 4. That's my favorite song so far. Damn, I ain't even go to sleep yet. Track 5, Cruise Control.
Living in a world so cold, keep a nigga on 10 toes. Where I'm at, it only Lord knows. This ain't gon' meet me halfway, I ain't finna wait. Had to cut the dead weight just so
Yeah, this beat on some Prince shit. We go from boom bap to being in a Vegas strip club.
I meditate, cause I'm the one they love to hate. Focus on the bigger picture, trying to find a better way. I'm on top down on cruise control.
Let's go.
I think the end of this record would go overlooked by so many people because what Nas said about Joey is probably one of the biggest accomplishments in his whole career. I know he probably feels like that because to have Nas say something like that about you, to praise you like that, probably don't give a fuck what nobody has to say about his album after that. Like I wouldn't. Also, if you got 30 million at age 30, you definitely don't give a damn what nobody has to say. But with that being said, I ain't really like this record like that, even though I like the concept. A nice metaphor pertaining to taking your time through life and not rushing through things. He's saying that's what a lot of people aren't doing, especially the young guys out here now. They're not taking their time. They're not thinking. I like the metaphor he used also when he said this is a marathon, not a drag race. You know, shout out to Nipsey. But as far as the whole sound he was going for on this, I don't really feel that. First of all, I don't feel that it really fits within the project so far. I'm not done with the project yet, but I'm hoping that this isn't what's to come with this project. I'm hoping that, you know, the first 4 tracks on here will be the, you know, outline for this entire project. I feel like Joey's singing was very lackluster, and I don't feel like that's a problem because he's not a singer at all. I feel like he probably should have got a female to do it, and that's why I'm kind of upset with that. I don't know why these rappers be feeling like they have to sing on their own songs. You know what I mean? Just because J. Cole did it doesn't mean you have to do it. Just because, you know, Kendrick did it on his last album don't mean you have to do it. It's very experimental, but, you know, what's the point of it being experimental if it doesn't sound good? The verses was cool. You know what I mean? I feel like the first verse is very insightful. Talks about talking to his daughter about the things that he wasn't taught. Talks about how money doesn't buy you happiness and things like that. It's very insightful, but it just doesn't hit me because I feel like the structure and sound of the song doesn't really fulfill me. Track 6, Eulogy. That title ain't never good.
We back. We back.
to the honor. Looking at my generation, overdosed on blue pills, caught up in the matrix. Gotta spread love, they know they was a gangster, they know they never tell. Time will tell, it reveals in the hills. I'm still grieving, that's why I'm usually unavailable. What I need to call for help for, bitch, I put myself on. Peace to peace, and decease to peace. Let me speak my peace, and if you reach, I teach. I'm holding you. It's anonymous to Nostradamus. I'm moving my new me, he ain't that anonymous. Blown out the water, fucking with the conglomerate. Swimming mainstream like a hungry hip-hop potamus. Yeah, you ain't a great...
The fact that you can rhyme Nostradamus, anonymous, fraudulent, hippopotamus, hip-hop-potamus, that wasn't even a line. That was like 4 lines.
Fuck rocket ships, I blast off in my mind.
God damn.
This song right here is why he named the album 2000. Like, Eulogy, like, niggas definitely died on this one. He brought back the 3 verses, and they was all hard. All of them. Like, he really came with something to prove on here. Like, he really did. I don't even say that about a lot of motherfuckers, because a lot of people be like, oh, I come to prove. They start off the album with, I'm coming to prove this, and, you know, I'm that nigga, this and that. No, boy, you didn't prove nothing. The whole album on the last track, and you still didn't prove anything. Like, I really have nothing to say. The beat was immaculate. I knew it when it first came on that he was about to murder it, but I didn't know he was about to Freddy Krueger this motherfucker. I didn't know he was about to hop in people's minds and kill them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that was going to be the case. I thought he was just going to be outside my body. This nigga really entered. Whoa. You know, I feel like being an Aquarius has a lot to do with this. We're very self-aware. We're very selfish at times. into ourselves. And I feel like that's where we get a lot of our thought process from, a lot of how we view the world, because we're so locked into ourselves that we're willing to learn by ourselves. We're willing to stay away from everybody else that's doing all this other shit. We don't want to do what everybody else is doing. We want to do what we want to do. He's calling out everybody that's just being followers out here and just, you know, posing with guns. Y'all believing this dude a gangster, and he's not going to tell because, you know, he posed with the gun. You know what I mean? What does that mean? That doesn't mean nothing. That just mean he posed with the gun. That don't mean he ain't gonna snitch. It's just him saying something as simple as that shows Joey's maturity and, you know, how mature he's been throughout the years, since he's been 16, 17, since he dropped 1999. And although I love the fact that he made a song like this, I feel like songs like this have been made before and still nobody listens. I don't feel like he made this song for everybody. I feel like he made this song for him because he wanted to let this out, you know, because I don't think he's ever really spoke on this. His last album, he definitely spoke on the black culture, but it was more towards, you know, how he feels about the white people and how he feels like they treat us in America. I feel like that was plastered all over that last album, along with other things. But I feel like this album is a lot of him pointing out our own flaws, while also, you know, giving us certain things about, you know, what's going on in his head that he usually doesn't express to other people. Track 7, Zip Codes.
Chardonnay, I dropped 7 bands and Rigomas, it was a calm day. The first 4 arrived, the last to leave. Dropped out of school, still voted most likely to succeed. 100,000 hours and you niggas only master masturbation. Y'all some pros at procrastination. I tag those who ain't fucking with the realest cats since Larry David. Curry and Uzi house.
Look up Larry David. I'ma always help y'all.
All my wolves is bloodthirsty, ready to shoot from mid-range like they James Worthy. Let it niggas try to hurt me. I can show you how to get lit and don't blow it.
I can show you how you get lit and don't blow it. I can show you how to get lit and don't blow it.
Loaded. 10 years killing this game, I'm really golden, nigga.
He gonna remind us that he was 10 years in the game. He done that on every song so far. Smooth, calm, but braggadocious track from Joey. I like this one though. I like this one a lot. The beat, Kirk Knight. You already know what Kirk Knight do. Like I said, this album, it seems like a lot of Joey getting this shit off, but, you know, you can tell that he doesn't do it a lot. He explains that too, that, you know, when you rich, you don't really got to show it, but he's showing it all through this song. He letting y'all niggas know that he been rich. If you a hater, I feel like you definitely not gonna like this song, and I feel like this is who he made it for. His flows is just so contagious. Not contagious like I can do it, but it just rubs off on you so much that you have to bob your head to it. Track 8, One of Us, featuring Larry June. I'm looking forward to this, man, because a lot of people been telling me about Larry June. He was on Currency and Alchemist album. I think that was the last time I heard him. I think he did some shit with Griselda too that I'm missing, but
I know they wish they was one of us, cause we living in a lap of love. Pockets for the blue nose, walking in the street loophole with this nigga that you know. Venus is Sagittarius, but I took her to Pluto. I got a gold soul, not that I changed over. Got an AM and a PM with. Only alias on be honeys who you seeing with. Stepping honeys in the trap, got them lapping up. I know I got my money right, so I'm acting up.
Hey Rex, in the kitchen working 2 stoves. Yeah, emerged from the dirt, had to make a way. I'm the type to let a bad bitch walk away, cause that ain't my main focus, I'm on bigger things. It done, let it dry the Porsche. 10,000 in my sock and I'm rocking shorts. I'm be chasing me shit, you be chasing him. In Philly with Wallow eating the Philly cheese.
Cause we living in a lap of love.
it's not even because I like the song as much. It's just the shit that they saying I relate to so much. Every time you see me look at the camera, that's what I related to. Nice player record, definitely something I can ride to with the top down. I think the hype about Larry June is deserved in my opinion because, you know, even though I haven't heard a full project from him, every time I hear him, it's really the same flow, the same imagery I'm getting from him, the same setting. But I'm not really mad at it because that makes you a great accessory to people like a Joey Badass or to somebody, you know, that's a rapper's rapper or somebody that's not a rapper's rapper. You can get thrown on anything because you have that same feel to you. You have your set style and that's what you're going to stick to. From what I've heard so far, he has a distinct sound. I like Joey's verse as well. But it's something I'm noticing throughout this album that the more the song's structured with a hook it seems like throughout his verse, it gets better and better. You know, it seems like towards the latter part of his verses, he's going a little bit deeper. His flow is picking up a little bit more. Track 9, Welcome Back, featuring Chris Brown and Capella Gray.
When she bought it, I could tell that pussy got some mileage. She been a Met Gala, but she never met the gala. Welcome back,
The way she ride it, you can tell that pussy got some mileage. Niggas be well, I don't know about young niggas, but I mean, I'm a young nigga too, but do y'all be wanting girls with no experience or some experience? Like, what y'all be wanting? Cause you want her to know how to have sex or not? I be talking to some dudes and they be like, nah, I want her to only have one body or two bodies or something like that. I'm like, huh? Why? You wanna be the person to teach her everything? You know what I mean? We grown now. You know, especially if you grown. If you over 25 saying you want your girl to only have one body. Matter of fact, if you over 22, if you want your girl to only have one or two bodies, bro, grow up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no hoe now. I don't want no hoe that got 40, 50 bodies before you 30. Nah, I don't want that. You know, if you got that and you watching, sorry, shorty.
Had the devil back, baby. Spinning the ride, a nigga takes a man, ain't it? Right or wrong. She my sneaky link, ain't no telling for being faithful. Gripping on your body, it's bedtime. Take her upstairs, cause the lights keep the genuine. She tell me that the pussy mine, so I can hit anytime. Nobody knows.
I started off actually liking the song, but when it got to the hook, and Chris Brown's part was fire. You know, his solo part. The duet I ain't really fuck with. This is like such a poor attempt of a radio record, man. Like, it sounds expensive. It sounds like some shit that should have came out in like 2016, 2017 or something. Track 10, Show Me.
Show me how you care.
Front, cause I can never know too much, but just enough so the next nigga never feel he got the one up. But we ain't gotta tell me the truth, cause I ain't trying to judge, baby, I just want you to be you. Cause I'ma be me, keep it G like real niggas do. Never knew a love that wasn't painless. Pouring out my heart was always draining.
Pouring out my heart was always draining. Wait, but then he said transparency is my love language. So how's pouring out your heart draining you?
Yeah, right now, what you gotta say? You ain't gotta lie now, it's the bet we made.
This sample is great.
Tell me yo.
The sample definitely carried a lot of this record and made it sound beautiful. I think the greatest thing I do like about this song is that, you know, Joey is actually opening up in ways that he's really never done before. It kind of reminds me of Conway's God Don't Make Mistakes, and where, you know, not as far as, you know, the subject matter, but just as far as the artists, you know, opening up in different ways and letting us in different doors. We never really get a glimpse into Joey's love life. You know, he always keeps that real close to home. Rarely ever talks about situations that go on with women and stuff like that. He usually just says, I'm doing me. But now he's actually showing some vulnerability and actually, you know, naming some of his faults. Track 11, Wanna Be Loved, featuring Jid. My guy.
I'm just a never find it, like fucking never mind it. I wear my heart out on my sleeve, I just refuse to hide it. Fuck if niggas feeling me or not, these just my shoes. 30,000 feet above the black, these just my view. Miss they been haunting me, Satan trying to offer me the deal that's gonna be hard for me to say no. Battling these evil sisters, struggling every day, no. Time to pot of gold, listen. Fuck.
What was inside? Said the cancer beat him. Baby mama playing hide and seek with his little legacy. I'ma stand beside my brother, take the stand and fabricate. Make sure that you good, you need a hug, you need a hand. Mind you to be looking to find an identity. Niggas be fly, niggas be finicky. I hope you try to forgive me. We don't wanna be judged.
Why are they not putting a female on the features? I like that track a lot, from the minimalistic beat to what Joey was saying in that first verse, man. It's been a lot in this album about fighting off demons and how the devil wants him to do certain things, but he's fighting them off to the death. He say, I'm gonna die about it. His angels are surrounding him. There's been a lot of him leading to, you know, that concept of him being a strong-minded individual. Sometimes the pot of gold is the rainbow. That's the first time I ever heard that. That's a fact. We don't give a fuck about them colors, especially when you get older, man. Like, looking up at the sky and seeing the rainbow just don't seem that great anymore. It's the gold there that y'all been telling us has been there since we've been 3 years old. I actually went to go chase it one time. It wasn't just from the Juicy Fruit commercial. I really went to go do that shit. And I didn't find nothing. Well, I didn't even reach the shit because it was gone by the time I got there. But, you know, niggas really ran for no reason. Jid's verse, I thought, it was cool. I liked it, you know, just because I like Jid as an artist. But I feel like he went a little off track there. I'm kind of wondering if records are getting sent into him or he's just laying down verses and people are just picking the verse that they want and just laying his vocals over it. Because it seems like he's always talking about something in a totally different space than what the artist is actually trying to get to on his own record. Track 12, Head High.
Time breathing, now you breathing from the gun blast. And you thinking about the past. See your whole life in the flash. Start new chapters, a natural disaster. The cycle in the loop. And we this government agendas against rappers. They wanna see us see the data captured. By the name of X, had to go to him cause he was on house arrest.
That Aquarius energy, man. I keep trying to tell people like we understand each other. Like nobody else really understands us for real. When I first heard that song with them two, you know, that's the first thing that came to mind was like two Aquarius come together. Like that energy is just unbreakable. So it's really no surprise to me that them dudes built their friendship over a short period of time and they're in two totally different spaces. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. We always gonna find each other.
Till they put me below. Best until the day I die. I'ma keep my heat close. This is for my...
Oh, I should have put that in there.
That's my favorite song. Just how introspective he got in that song. The stories that he told about him and X, about himself, about how he feels about juicing life for every second and every moment because you never know when it's going to be your last. Track 13, Survivor's Guilt.
I was, it was crazy. I realized that it's the system that was built against me, you know?
Journaling and jotting, we ain't know the world was watching. We was just two kids trying to make it out the bottom. You ain't no Steelo, then you really don't know me though. I swear it feels weird how people could accuse me for his death. Sometimes I gotta shed a real tear. You come into my mind, I'll show you where the darkest cloud is. You ready? I doubt it, but we're brothers don't. Sure. Then I caught a little wave and headed back to shore. And that's when you started drowning. Try to tell the world I wasn't who I am. And all I ever tried to do was lend a hand and get the fame. It took me all of this time just to put it in song because I'm still dealing with the fact my niggas is gone.
If you ever lost somebody, man, in any aspect, you know, but, you know, it hits different when, you know, it's not expected when it comes to like suicide and things like that. Like if you ever dealt with that, you definitely know how it feels. You know, I definitely know how it feels for sure. It's like you really don't know how to express that because you don't really know what was going through that person's mind when they did that. So it's kind of hard to like not have that survivor's guilt that he's talking about in this song. So I give him a lot of credit for being able to talk about that, for being able to express that because, you know, it's kind of hard to express it because you don't know why this happened the way it did, you know. So, you know, I give a lot of credit to Joey for that. Track 14, Written in Stars.
Ain't no chinks in my armor, not even a I scout with a whole game in these Cartier bucks. How the fuck could I complain, my nigga? Just look at us. Every time I learn to move smarter with this paper. Cause when I had my daughter, yo, that was wake up. Catch me in the Sadie's, dirty dancing with your lady. She do it like Brady, really, how could you blame me? I expand, but stay the same size like rubber bands. In the meantime, I rose like the sentiment. For the cause, we all fight in the walls, hiding invisible stars. Legend in the making these bars was written in the stars.
Like his flow is just impeccable, man. Like the way he's able to flip and switch and, you know, and still be in that same pocket while doing different flows.
Yeah, let's go up. Congratulations. And my little brother, the baddest. You know what I'm saying?
This album was great. And when I say great, I don't mean a 10 out of 10. It's definitely not a 10 out of 10 album because, I mean, you can see by my reactions to some of the songs that there was a few hiccups on the track list that I feel like shouldn't have been there. Cruise Control, Welcome Back with Chris Brown. I feel like those songs really didn't stick at all. I kind of want to get the Negative Nancy's out the way first. Then I really said Negative Nancy. That's how you know I'm freestyling. I definitely wouldn't have wrote that down. But as I listened to the whole album, I'm more upset about them songs than I was when I was listening to it because I didn't know what the whole album consisted of. And if it was more songs like that, this is kind of crazy because if it was more songs like that on the album that I didn't like, I would have been a little bit more happier. From the jump of the album all the way to like Cruise Control, you get nothing but a hungry Joey Badass. Where I Belong was kind of like on the I was feeling a little bit about it and stuff like that. But I feel like when I go back and listen to it, I'm gonna probably appreciate it that much more. It was so consistent. It was so rich in production, but not rich. It was still minimal, but boom bap minimal. And we're thinking about Joey Badass and we're this is what we want from him. We want him to rap. We don't want him to be sucked in by all of this instrumentation if it's not live. I feel like the first half of this album was nothing but Joey trying to let us know that I'm back for blood. You know what I mean? He said that on records. I'm back for blood. I'm here. I'm that nigga. You know what I mean? And I've been that nigga since 2012. You know what I mean? Did y'all forget? I think y'all forgot. That's why I got to come on here like this, especially for the first half. But for the second half of the record, it's like he just switched it up for us. Tapped into more of this transparent, introspective Joey, and where he's talking about, you know, demons he has on his back, and, you know, his angels surrounding him, keeping away from those demons, and having survived his guilt with capital C's, and, you know, him, you know, talking about his love life, and, you know, how he feels about his actions in that, and, you know, how he feels about her actions towards him, and how he's learned from those situations. He also talks about him being himself and not giving a fuck about what anybody thinks, and, you know, kind of like contradicting both of the roles that he's playing. We're getting a lot of bravado, a lot of look at me on the first half. You know, not a bad look at me, but like I said, he's hungry and he's trying to let people know that my foot is back down on y'all necks. But like I said, the second half was totally different, in where, you know, he's like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I just want to pour my heart out and be this transparent individual to y'all. You know, I feel like the last 4 tracks on here was more of him tapping into that space, vulnerable side of his mindset, and giving us a peek into his world, a peek into Joey's world. If that's, I feel like that's a good name for a TV show. But the one thing I will say was consistent throughout this whole album, and it didn't break off at any point, was, you know, him sprinkling his knowledge on the youth, his knowledge on us as a culture and what we're doing bad in this world, or what he thinks we're doing bad in this world. And, you know, he's actually giving us some solutions to fix it. I hate when rappers just come out and, you know, objectify us and basically just try to tell us stuff without no solution. Record like Eulogy, he's literally giving us the blueprint on how to make things better for us. You know, he's giving us reasons why we're doing bad, and he's giving us the reasons why we can fix it and why it's so easy for us to fix it. And it's like he can't wrap his head around why we won't take those steps in order to make our culture a little bit better. You know what I mean? He knows it's not going to happen overnight. We all do. But that's what I would say I liked most about this album. He actually took the time to be able to, you know, give us some game and knowledge, and actually trying to make us look ourselves in the mirror, because it's not a lot of rappers out here doing that nowadays. And if they are doing it, they're not really getting the shine they deserve. Yeah, I feel like I already been talking too much. You can already tell that I'm tired, because my energy got low as hell during the video. I'm like, whoa. Probably because Joey started getting in my head at the end. Like, he was giving me that shit in the beginning, but you can't get in my head and it's getting dark outside. Like, it's not going to mix great. But yeah, let me give y'all my favorite songs. The Baddest. Nah, I ain't putting The Baddest on there. I fuck with the song, but I can't give him that. Brand New 911, Eulogy, and One of Us was hard too. That's gonna be one of them ones. Show Me, Head High, Survivor's Guilt, Written in Stars. Those are my favorite songs. Them joints gonna be on my playlist for a long time. I still got 1999, some of them songs on my playlist. He showed so much love to Capital Steve's on this record, and it's been a few albums, and I've been waiting on him to do this, and, you know, I know now why it took him so long. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say about this album. Y'all already know how we do it. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let me know what y'all think about the album down in the comments. Really let me know what y'all think about the album. You know what I mean? I don't give a damn if it's 3 paragraphs, 5. I'm gonna respond to it. So especially if it's like in the first few days after I drop it. You know what I mean? People be coming and commenting like 5 months after and say I missed something, and I'd be like, I caught it now. I definitely caught it now. But thank you. I'm definitely going to edit this early in the morning. You know, it's going to be out Saturday for sure. You know, if it's not, y'all can smack me. You know what I mean? But, yeah, man, I'm gone. Yeah.